Morning, this is Brian. Today is Tuesday, September 20th, 2022, and I'm here in the Cleveland National Forest in the Laguna Mountains here in San Diego County. So I'm parked here right at the Big Laguna Trailhead. You got the Big Laguna Trail going that way, and you also have it going this way, and it will meet up with the Pacific Crest Trail in about a half mile or so. Yeah. So here I am, thinking about heading towards Monument Peak over here. So this is where we're parked, right here. So I'm thinking about making a hike up to Monument Peak, and then its next door neighbor, Hayes Peak, which is a little bit lower and roughly about here on the map. So that's the plan right now. So it's beautiful, almost fall morning here. The autumn equinox occurs the day after tomorrow at around a couple minutes after 6 p.m. So Thursday at around about 6:03 or 6:04 p.m. we will be entering the autumn equinox, just in time for another nasty heat wave to hit us, of course. So right now we're just enjoying it not being a heat wave in the meanwhile. So this is it right here. Again, you get some good views over towards this side, which I'll show real quickly. You can hear the acorn woodpeckers buzzing right now. This is the first time I've been to the mountains in 2.5 months. So there we are. Big Laguna Trail continues this way too. You can see this is Sunrise Highway. Beautiful black oaks, Jeffrey pines. So let's see. What kind of botanical treasures am I going to find today? I've done this trail once before to get to Monument Peak. This was back in 2017, and this was before I started uploading hiking videos. So let's get out and enjoy it today. So here we are. It's that time of year. Goldenrod, California goldenrod right here, blooming and looking gorgeous, giving our local honeybee populations something to cheer about. So that's all these yellow flowered plants here. Solidago velutina subspecies californica. And I noticed there's a little bit of a green up. As you can see here, some new grass is sprouting because of the rains up here in the Laguna Mountains. So it's very beneficial for these plants. Here's some kind of buckwheat. I'm not sure, but I think this might be Eriogonum variety subscaposum, maybe. I'll have to do a little double check on this one. This is a buckwheat, woody-based buckwheat plant that grows here. So I think that might be what that is. So it's already kind of a warm start up here. Actually, it was cooler down in the El Cajon Valley where I live. It was a nice cool morning. For the first time, well, actually the last few mornings have been quite nice, except this morning there was no marine layer, so looks like the weather pattern's getting ready to change on us again. But the soil still kind of damp around here. So this area got wetted pretty well. Where I live, after all that tropical moisture came through, we only got drops and some light showers. Nothing that amounted to anything consequential. But if I remember correctly, this hike here is just going to Monument Peak out and back. If I remember correctly, is about a little over 2.5 miles round trip. Nothing extraordinary. I was originally planning to do Vulcan Mountain today, but I would have wanted to get an earlier start because it's a significantly further drive. But I've been so exhausted from work lately, and I slept in till 6:45, and that's usually pretty late for me. Normally I go to work at 4 in the morning. So a little squirrel action, huh? So yeah, this is a beautiful hike. We start the hike at about 5,700 or so feet, and then we hike here along the Big Laguna Trail. Then what you're going to do is now it's going to be slightly less than a half mile now because I've already been walking for a few minutes. You're going to turn left, which is northbound, on the PCT, Pacific Crest Trail. You're going to head along that for a little while, and then you're going to be on the lookout for a use trail branching off to your right, out in the should be out in the chaparral when we get to that. And then you're going to head right up a use trail that's going to lead you towards the service roads on Monument Peak, and then eventually you're going to hook up to that. I'm deciding whether I'm going to go for Hayes or Monument first today. This will be my first double peak hike in a while, so it'll make the mileage a little bit more than the 2.6 or so. Probably closer to 3 miles, which is not too bad. It's not a very hard hike. There's definitely going to be some work to do when you start getting towards the peaks on the crest, but this part of the trail right here is pretty mellow. So you'll be noticing a lot of these shrubs here. This is called Palmer lilac, or Palmer ceanothus, as I prefer to call them, just ceanothus, because they're not related to true lilacs. This is Ceanothus palmeri. It's a shrub I featured on a spotlight video back at the end of May when it was in glorious bloom with big wands or panicles of white flowers. So I'm also keeping my eyes open for spotlight opportunities, or spotlight videos that'll be separate from this video set. So I've already seen a couple things that I want to spotlight. There's a lot of these plants I've already spotlighted before, especially the trees and shrubs around here are topics on previous spotlight videos, but I'm seeing at least two spotlight opportunities right now. So we'll see how that goes. Beautiful morning out here. Yeah, a little warm, actually. Not gonna lie, it's actually kind of warm already. But First time in the mountains since July 5th, so it's exactly what I needed. Yep. About a month or so, depending on how hot October is this year, these guys should be coloring pretty nicely. It's kind of early now, and with the exception of the last week and a half, this month has been pretty hot. But I'm used to that in September out here. Originally, last week I was looking at today's forecast from about a week ago. Originally, they were forecasting it only be in the mid-60s, mid to upper 60s here, but they changed it. It's probably going to be in the mid-70s. Around here, I think, I would imagine. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, this hog will be a lot more exposed when we start getting towards the crest. So just be ready. On a warm day it might be kind of hot, but until then, enjoy the open Jeffrey Pine Black Oak woodland up here. One thing about the lagunas and the next door Cuyamacas, a lot more meadow space here in these mountains, especially when you compare them to the San Gabriels. San Gabriels don't have as much meadow space. These broad expanses here. San Bernardinos have a fair amount of meadows. Okay. But not as much. Lagunas, the Cuyamacas have quite a bit of meadows. See Stevenson Peak. But that's not where we're heading. So I think it's private property. Well, hopefully this monsoon season will be beneficial enough to help the oaks change color nicely this fall. Oh wow, what a skunk bush, Rus aromatica. It's already shedding its leaves. Oh wow. I was hoping to be able to count on that for fall color this year. This is Rus aromatica. Skunk bush, skunk brush, three-leaf sumac, basket bush. It's got a bunch of different names. It's actually one of our nicer fall color shrubs here. Changes anywhere from yellow to orange, even purplish crimson colors. They're all very sparsely foliated. I'm kind of surprised. I was hoping for a good skunk brush fall color this year, but these guys are already pretty sparsely foliated. Okay, here's our junction. So, what you're going to do is that is heading towards the south. So what you want to do is branch up here, and we're going to start heading towards the crest this way. This way you also crest it, but it's not going to take you to Monument. It'll take you closer to Stevenson Peak, not directly to it. You'd have to take service roads, but I'm not really sure if you're supposed to hike to the top of that one. So, as curious as I would be, I don't know if I'd want to do that, because I think it might be a Air Force installation, and I don't know if they take too kindly to trespassers. There's some interesting scrub oaks right here. Those don't. Up here, I would expect to see Quercus cornelius Muelleri. Actually, especially more so towards the crest and east slope. So we're climbing up the west slope of the crest. So here are the scrub oak that's actually quite interesting. This could be a part of Quercus acutidens, or this could be a possibly a part of Quercus berbertifolia. So this one, I would definitely not be confident in saying what this one would be. So this could be Quercus, could be at least partially Quercus berbertifolia or Quercus acutidens. Not really typically used to seeing plants that I would consider to be Quercus berbertifolia this high up. We're probably about 5,900 feet right now. We're getting close to 6,000 feet, but I might have to check CalFlora and see what that could be, maybe what could be vouchered. So right now we're technically still on the west slopes of the lagunas, but there's a nice healthy population of scrub oaks up here. Actually, this one looks like this could be Quercus cornelius Muelleri. The ones that are along the crest I'm usually a little more confident with, because I've been to the Laguna Crest a few times. So usually the ones along the crest I'm a little more confident in. These west slope plants here. But yeah, this would be definitely higher than I would expect to see Quercus berbertifolia. Maybe even Quercus acutidens. I don't know if they'd be vouchered this high up. These ones here kind of have more of a richer green color that I would expect for Mueller scrub oak or Quercus cornelius Muelleri. But there are a lot of them out here, actually tons of these scrub oaks out here. Now, Quercus cornelius Muelleri is definitely a very well vouchered specimen here in the Laguna Mountains. These leaves are a little narrower than I would expect, to be honest. But now we're moving more into the chaparral portion, and it'll be fairly sun exposed the rest of the hike. Well, I'll see you on clip number 2 before I run out of juice here. But I'll see you just a little way up the hill.